Hi everyone, welcome to the Cherry Heart podcast. This is episode number 56 and I am Sandra. This is a podcast about making, crochet and knitting mainly, a bit of sewing and a bit of anything else I fancy thrown in. We are coming to you from Bedfordshire and it's a lovely nice autumnal day. All the leaves have now really started to turn orange and yellow, and yeah, it's really looking the part out there now. And what have I got for you today? The usual things, some things I've done, some things I'm doing. I've got a little bit of vloggy footage to pop at the end. That's mostly about a project that I'm going to show you in a bit, and I've got quite a lot of incoming goodies. Today we went to, me and Sam of Betsy Makes, went to Emporium, not last weekend, the weekend before I think it was. Yeah, so I've got some goodies from there to show you, as well as a couple of other bits, so let's get started. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention there are show notes to accompany this episode. You can find them on my blog, which is cherryheart.co.uk, and then if you click, there's like a menu bar, and if you click on the little icon or click podcast, you can go and there'll be something for the latest show notes, so you can find it that way. Or if you're watching on YouTube, I'll pop it in the down bar below, or if you're watching on Ravelry, I put the links there. But yeah, if you're not on one of those, just pop across to cherryheart.co.uk and just click podcast to find the latest show notes. Is that it now? Well, just welcome. Thank you for being here. That was the only other bit, isn't it? Thank you for coming back if you're returning, and thanks for checking it out if you're new. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is my weaving. I can't remember quite where I was when I was last showing you this. I showed you on the loom, didn't I? And I think, did I show it to you when it was off the loom? Because I remember talking about, because I wanted to make it into a cowl, I wanted to sew it up, and I was a bit not 100% sure on how to do that. But yeah, I got some advice and I now have a loop of hand woven cowly goodness. Yeah, so it's a cowl and I've made it out of this fabric that I've woven, and I sewed it together. I'll show you my seam. It's a bit bulkier than, well, not bulkier, but fatter than I kind of envisioned. That's not right, is it? Envisioned. Yeah, so it came quite wide. So what I did was right, I've been trying to tell you about this cowl several times now, but I keep getting all kinds of interruptions. I've got some kind of chainsaw noise going on in the background, I've got the dog kicking off. It's all going on, but we're going to try and get it out this time. 48th time lucky. Yes, my seam, my hem is what I was telling you about. So yes, I got some advice, and what I actually did was I sewed on the sewing machine. I sewed some lines all the way along, back and forth, to secure the ends before I cut them. And I also put some interfacing on that edge as well, just to kind of stick everything together, which I then sort of sealed up in my hem. So I did that, I put the interfacing on, I did the sewing, and then I cut them with my rotary cutter. I think I've got a picture actually, I can put one in for you just to show you. Yeah, so I prepped both the sort of raw edges like that. Then I just seamed them together using just a straight seam, and then what I did was I folded the raw edge over and tucked it under, so it's in like, oh, you know what I mean, don't you, I think. So that was the middle hem, and then I tucked the raw edge over, and then I just sewed those ones down as well. So I didn't mean to have it quite so wide. This was going to be sort of about half that thickness, but I seemed to miscalculate when I sewed this hem how much fabric I'd left. So since I'd already prepared the raw ends, I just left it a bit wider. I don't think it matters really, does it? But I'm quite pleased with it. It seems quite sturdy. It certainly hasn't budged at all since I did it. and yeah, I don't think it's too noticeable at all, do you? Do you? Like I say, you just hide that bit on the inside. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with that, so hopefully it will stand the test of time. We'll see as I start wearing it, but it does feel lovely on. There were a couple of bits, when I got it off the loom, there were a couple of bits that did sort of annoy me because I had some floats, I think they're called, where obviously you normally go in and out, in and out, in and out, but where my tension of my warp wasn't great, there were a couple of bits where it went over a few strands rather than going in and out them all. So they're mostly only little ones and not too noticeable. There was a whacking great, oh look, here it is. There's a whacking great big one here. But I put it on the inside and it's right by the hem, so it'll always be at the back. So I don't think anyone will ever know, apart from me and you guys, but like, just don't say, yeah, don't mention it. Yeah, so there we go. So let me put it on and show you. So I normally put it around twice like this because then it comes up. And it actually, I have to say, feels kind of amazing. And the drape on it is kind of amazing. Yeah, I like it. I kind of want to make another one in different colours. Maybe a little bit simpler and not quite so many. I don't know. Yeah, so yarn wise, I'll have that in show notes because I've talked about it before, but in case you're new or you particularly wanted to know, these two are knit crate ones that have come in previous boxes, but the colour names and everything I'll pop in show notes just in case you need to know. And these are two wool kitchen ones. I think these have really gone flying. These are the ones that have really made the drape so lovely because these have got I think silk or maybe bamboo, I can't remember, maybe both in these, but yeah, they've got a real nice sort of shine to them, you can probably see. Yeah, so that's really helped make a lovely feel, and I blocked it and everything as well, so that's helped soften it all too. But yeah, really pleased with how that's turned out actually. Yeah, it was good to get the old weaving loom out again. So yeah, that's that one that I've done. The other thing that I've done, well, that I'm going to show you, I've got a couple of other finishes as well. Well, almost. My ziggy scarf that I'm doing with the zigzags and the squares, that's all done and it's blocking, so I've just got to put the wait for it to dry and put the tassels on, so that's quite exciting. Yeah, so I'll have to show you that next time. And the Battenberg blanket, my big ginormous blanket of tiny little squares, is finished, which I'm really pleased about and excited about, but at the same time, you know, I didn't want it to end. But yeah, I've got to work out some way of sort of showing you that. I need to take some pictures of it so you can kind of see it. Obviously I'll bring it up and show it to you at some point as well, but yeah, I just need to get my head around the fact it's finished, and I don't know. Yeah, but anyway, that's coming as well, but I'm not showing them today because I've got enough stuff to show you today, so it'll be hopefully next time. Or I might even do a special for the Battenberg blanket. I might just do it as a little bit on its own, because someone asked a question in my Ravelry group about that, so I wanted to answer that. Thank you for that question, by the way. Yeah, so I might do that. I might just do a little short video with just that in, maybe. Anyway, stop waffling, Sandra. Socks. Oh, look at that. Socks. Yay. These are my Strictly socks, by which I mean they are the socks I've been making to take part in Ali from Little Drops of Wonderfuls. Strictly Sock Along, which are socks that you make whilst you are watching Strictly Come Dancing, as we call it here in the UK, or Dancing with the Stars, as it's called in America, and it has various different names depending on where you are in the world, but some variation on that kind of theme. Yeah, and I finished mine. Look, I've done them. Yay! I got them done. Well, I almost got them completely finished last weekend, so I just watched a little bit of Strictly It Takes Two. I watched one of those last night to just finish the last little bits off. But yeah, they're done, and they're done in time for Blackpool. Woo! Which you probably won't have, well, you definitely won't have in the other versions of this program, but in the UK one there's a very famous sort of ballroom dancing venue called the Tower Ballroom in Blackpool, and so there's a certain point in every series when they will go and the episode is filmed and shown from there. So it's quite a sort of a milestone that if they can get as far as Blackpool, that's sort of quite an achievement, because it's quite a way through. It's yeah, so you've got to do reasonably well to get there, so it's quite a milestone for them to aim for. And I got my socks done in time for Blackpool, so I think because it's sort of a bit of a milestone in our Strictly version, I think she's doing a draw, pulling a sort of prize for at Blackpool as well, so I'm not quite sure when she's pulling it. But I'm going to get those up in the thread and red, and hope I get them up in time, ready, and see if I'm in time for the Blackpool draw. But yeah, quite happy with those. So this is a self-striping yarn that I got from Nomadic Yarns, and it was called Yuletide. And this is a mini skein that I got from 5 Moons, and is called Sour Cherry, I'm fairly sure. So that works quite well. The only sort of downside with these, that I wouldn't say they've ruined it for me, but it sort of has annoyed me slightly, is these sort of little brown marks. Obviously when the dyer was dyeing them, there's a bit where the peachy section of the yarn touched the brown section of the yarn, or a bit of brown dye got dropped in the peachy section, I don't know. And mostly it's sort of quite small and you don't really notice too much. That one stands out a bit. There's little tiny bits. But this one's a bit of a... This one I didn't notice. So this started to happen and I got quite big chunks. There'd be a sort of a little bit and then a bigger chunk. So I actually started to take that out. I just made, you know, I sort of cut the yarn and moved it up a bit and actually took those sort of mistakes out manually, which is a bit annoying, quite frankly. I obviously didn't notice that one because I was doing it while I was watching Strictly. I guess it was a bit darker and I just didn't notice that one, which has annoyed me a little bit. But at least it'll be on the back. It's on the back half, isn't it? So I won't really see them when I'm wearing them. But yeah, definitely, I don't know which sock was second. I'm guessing this one, but definitely later on I sort of noticed that kept happening. So there's sort of about that much, you know, loop of yarn that I had to keep taking out. So I wasn't really best pleased with that, if I'm completely 100% honest, which is a little bit of a shame, but I'm sure I'll get over it. But yeah, otherwise I quite like them. They've got sparkle in them as well, because Strictly seemed like a good, you know, sparkling socks works well for Strictly. And I really like this green, the sort of jade green. Yeah, so it's a Christmas colourway, but I thought, well, my original thought was since Strictly takes us pretty much up to Christmas, that would fit in quite well. But I finished mine early. Never mind. So that's those ones. So that's what I've got to show you that I've done. So let's move on to what I'm doing now. So I haven't got so many works in progress left now. So this one I will just show you quickly because I think you've seen this before. I've only just started it really. It's only, you know, I haven't worked on it much, so there's not an awful lot of progress. But it's another pair of socks. So these will probably take over where I was knitting these while I was watching Strictly. I'll probably start knitting these when I'm watching Strictly now, just because it's quite a nice little way to do a project, because you just sort of knock a little bit off every week, and it doesn't go fast, but you know you're always seeing, you know, there's always a definite point at which a little bit of progress will be made. So I quite like it. But yeah, so these are just plain socks. I've just put a little bit of ribbing on, twisted rib for the cuff, and these are going to be sort of more or less, this ribbing is slightly different, but other than that they're more or less going to be one of my pick and mix socks. So I just want to do one more final check of my slip stitch heel, and then I'll get that pattern out. So yeah, I just want to go over that heel just one more time, just to make sure everything's completely clear in the pattern, because to be honest, it's not a heel I use a tremendous amount. I've been using it since I had to come up with one to put in the pattern, but normally I use Fish Lips Kiss heel, and that's probably still my preferred heel, but I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to leave the pattern without that sort of option in. But yeah, anyway, that's an awful lot of waffle just to tell you. I'm just checking it over again just one more time just to ease my mind that everything is as it should be. Yeah, so I've just got a leg, that's the only one. I haven't done the second one yet, and the yarn is Pumpkin Party, and it was a set that came with this mini, which I shall use for the heels and the toesies, and that's by Biff Sugar Yarns. So there's been a little bit of progress on that. It was probably about here maybe when I showed you last time, so I'm probably about ready for the heel now. So I'll do that on Saturday. And then another whip. Brought out the basket for this one. Haven't had the basket out for a while. So this one is just a little baby blanket sort of size thing that I'm making. And here it is. So I'm quite far on with it now. I probably don't need many more rows and it will be finished, I would think. So this one will be a Prezi, and I just did Catherine wheel stitch, it's called. I just had it in one of my stitch dictionaries. There's my book, I've seen this quite a few times before. It has Catherine wheel stitch 1, Catherine wheel stitch 2, Catherine wheel stitch 3, and I can't remember which one I went for. I think it was just 1. So they're slightly different. So there's slightly different variations of this kind of wheelie type stitch, but I'm sure it's fairly generic. I think it's in most stitch dictionaries. Can't speak. Yeah, but that's quite nice. I quite like that. It's quite retro, isn't it? I thought it was quite a retro-y stitch. Well, I remember my nan doing it. She had a sort of blanket with it, so I don't know. Just has quite a retro-y feel to me, but I've never tried it before, so I thought I'll give it a whirl. And I wasn't at all sure about the colours at first. So the yarn I'm using is a Stylecraft yarn, and it's their Bellissima. Oh, and I've got a Bambino. So these ones are all Bellissima, although the cream could be either. And then this one is Bambino, although they have got a duck egg colour in the Bellissima as well. I'm not quite sure why they've got such similar colours but in the ranges, but there you go. But yeah, so I quite like them like that. Well, I really like them like that. And then I started making the blanket and I was a bit like, ooh, is this right? Is this right? Have I made the correct choice here? And I asked hubby about it and he was like, yeah, it's good. I was like, are you just saying that? No. But when I posted a little picture of what I'd done so far on Instagram, people were quite positive about the colours, so I sort of thought, oh, okay, maybe it's alright then. Maybe I'm just panicking about nothing then. Yeah, so hopefully that will be alright. So I'm again, you'll have to look on show notes, I'm afraid, if you want the exact colours of these, because I'm not so familiar, because this range is newer. I can't remember them off by heart quite yet. I think that one was Ash Rose. So that doesn't help a lot, does it? But yeah, I shall pop the link on show notes, so just pop across to my blog for that. So yes, so this will be a Christmas present, so that'll probably get done in the next couple of days. Sort of finish the last few stripes and pop a little border on, and that will be ready to go. So those are all the projects I've got today. Oh, and then this cowl, I've just put a little bit of vlog stuff of me setting up the loom, and it's not like a tutorial at all, it's just little clips of me sort of trying to capture, you know, the process as I was doing it, just to sort of, I don't know really, I just thought it may be of vague interest to people, maybe not, but I've shoved it at the end, so if you are interested you can see it at the end, and if not you can skip it. So yeah, so I just did a little bit of me setting it up and then pulling it off at the end and things like that. So I popped that there. Right, so now it's sort of lots of incoming goodies. So I've saved this again, I've saved it to the end. I've got some lovely prezzies as well, because there are quite a few, because I've got prezzies and I've got my Emporium stuff. So again, if you're sort of not interested in seeing that, then that's probably it for us, and I will see you next time. But if you do want to see, let me show you what I got. So first of all, I got a lovely gift from Ali from Little Drops of Wonderful, who I was saying is doing the Strictly Sock Along. And that was a little thank you gift, because I did a pattern, the Cha Cha Chevron Socks pattern. So yeah, she just said thank you for that, which was really, really lovely. So thank you ever so much, Ali. I completely wasn't expecting anything, so that was a really lovely surprise. And look what yarn she sent me. Now, she'd shown this on her podcast. Look at the little stitch markers as well. And I think I might have even gone on the Little French Meadow site and sort of had a look and sort of like, I really like that. But because I'd already picked a yarn, I sort of ummed and ahed and I didn't go for it in the end. But isn't that gorgeous? This is one of their Strictly themed yarn as well. So it's called Viennese Waltz, this colourway. Really happy with that. And yeah, look, those little stitch markers. There's like a progress keeper and a stitch marker, which is kind of perfect because whenever I do a Fish Lips Kiss heel, I'm always scratching around for just two. I have progress keepers normally about the place, but I just sort of I need two little stitch markers. But if I had one and then one to clip it on, I could keep it with my sock bag, couldn't I? And then I'd always have those two little markers for doing my Fish Lips Kiss heel. So that's kind of cool. And she sent me some other bits and bobs as well. She wrote me a lovely card and some chockies and a fudge melts green tea, which obviously I've been saving as well. I'm going to save some of them up. For what? What? I was going to say for Christmas, but actually I've got a tea advent calendar, so I don't need to, so I can have them. And I've got this gorgeous, gorgeous Christmassy fabric as well, which I'm thinking, new sock bag, yay, Christmassy one. So thank you so much, Ali. That was so kind. Oh, and she popped one of these in as well, which is a member of her Dodgy Bag Club, which I am, because I am honoured and privileged to have an Ali dodgy bag. Dodgy bag that isn't actually dodgy. Yes, so I shall be wearing that with pride. So that was the first lovely gift I got. And then I got another completely out of the blue unexpected gift from lovely Helen, who is Flora Honeypot on Instagram. I was most confused about what this could be. She is a lovely, lovely person. Thank you, Helen, for this. But look what she found. It's a gorgeous little bunch of cherries, Christmas decoration. Isn't that so pretty? Oh, it's going to have pride of place on my tree this year. Thank you so much. I think she just sort of thought, cherries, who does that remind me of? Oh, it's so pretty. I love it. And it came in this beautiful little box with the little tissue package with paper to match. Doesn't that look like perfection? All with a little ribbon. Oh, it's so lovely. I was so pleased about that. And then I got one more gift, which was from Sam of Betsy Makes. If you've seen her latest podcast, she talks about her stocking that she made for Kirsty's handmade Christmas, but that she's selling now online. She's selling as a kit, and I presume selling the pattern as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's saying she'll put it on Ravelry. So yeah, so you can get the pattern for it, but she's also selling kits, so with everything you need to make the stocking on her Etsy shop. Yeah, so she gifted me a copy of that pattern as well, so I'll just pop a picture in because I haven't printed it out yet. But yeah, it was her lovely stocking pattern that she made, so she gifted me that, so that's really exciting as well. So I'm probably gonna, I might save that as a bit of a Christmassy make and sort of do that in December. But yeah, I'm looking forward to having a go at that one because it's really beautiful. It came out really lovely. So Yeah, well done, Sam. But yeah, I thought I'd mention that as well now, so that if you wanted to sort of get the kits or anything and have it ready for Christmas as a Christmas make. Yeah, so that was very kind. So thank you ever so much for that as well. Yeah, so I've been a little bit spoiled this last week or so that's been really very lovely. And then I did order a little something for myself, one little thing before I went to Emporium, which was a bit naughty. But it was from Beehive Yarns, who is, well, there's the card actually. And she is on Etsy, is she? No, she's got her own site, www.beehiveyarns.co.uk. And she put in one of her little pins for me as well. So that's lovely. So thank you ever so much for that. And I ordered this beautiful set of minis. Aren't they beautiful? It's called Stranded at the Drive-In. They're Superwash Merino Nylon, 20 grams per skein. So I'm probably going to use these two. I'm going to do for my Advent socks this year, which is where I knit a pair of socks from the 1st to the 24th, knitting a little bit on them each day of December. I'm going to do a pair of stripy socks, but I'm going to do my own striping because there's a very particular sort of set of colours I want. And yeah, these two are going to be in it. And there's a little mint one over there that I've got, and I've got another one to show you in a minute. And yeah, it's going to be my Christmas themed, not self-striping, someone else striping, me striping socks. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's not self-striping yarn, I'm doing it myself. So Emporium. I popped them in here just to bring them all up. Oh, actually, before we get into Emporium, let's show you these couple of little bitties that I also ordered just before. Got bits of bit everywhere. So again, another little Instagram moment of weakness here. Twice. First was this one from Chapel View Crafts, and that's a gorgeous little custard cream stitch marker. I mean, look, I should probably take it out of the packet for you, but the detail, look at the little, how she's sort of done the icing and the little decorative element on top. And you can even see sort of little layers, as if it's the layers of phyllo pastry. It literally looks like you could eat it. Let me take it out quickly. There we are. Hopefully you'll be able to see it a bit better. Is it going to focus on it? I'll put it, well, I'll say I'll put a picture in. You never know with these things. Whether you can get a better picture is what I'm saying. But yeah, look at that. Isn't that so adorable? I just want to eat it. And then, as well as that one, I also saw this little chap who's a little Christmas pudding from Jiggle and Beans. He's got his little holly, icing and holly hat on. It's hard to capture because his face is hard to see against the brown. Again, I shall try and get a nice picture of these two so you can see them. Isn't that cute? So hard to resist. So I put those together. So yes, I got those as well. Mustn't buy anything else before Christmas, I don't think. So Emporium then, which is in Westminster City Hall, was it? I think that's right. But where do I begin? Let me show you this. This is the little mini that I got that's going to go with some of these colours. And yes, that's my kind of Christmassy jade green. That was from River Knits. That's that one. Then I went to the Dusty Dimples stand, so I was quite looking forward to seeing her there because she's been on my list of yarn dyers I want to try. And I picked this one up. There were quite a lot of nice ones there that I liked, and I didn't really know which to go for, but in the end I just sort of stuck with the first one that drew my eye, which was this one. So I'm not 100% sure what it's going to be, but I like it. It sort of reminds me slightly in the colouring of the gradient set that I used for my Linden Bee shawl. So it's kind of pale, but it's pink and got these dark bits and lovely speckling. So yeah, that I quite like. So that's another merino nylon, 75% merino, 25% merino, 4-ply fingering weight yarn. And then to go with it, I got this one. So I went sort of the darker way and went this one. It also looked nice with kind of the pinky colours. So I could put one of those in as well, but I have got some pinky colours, so if I do that. But I don't know if you can see on this one, it's kind of got the grey, but it has got some pink speckling in it as well. So I thought that complemented quite nicely. So this one is from Third Vault Yarns, who I first came across at Festival. Yeah, so she had a stand there, and her yarns are sort of inspired by like sci-fi and TV and books and things like that. So this one is Rey, which is a Star Wars character, and it's on her companion 4-ply, which is 100% superwash merino. So those two will probably be used together, I think. Then where did I go? Oh yeah. Then I went to the Loveliest Yarn Company, and I got these two from Olin. Is that how you say it? Olin? Olin? Oh my gosh, this one I just have so much love for, I can't even tell you. It just, I find it very exciting. This sort of turmeric-y colour, and when it sort of fades out it goes more yellowy, but it's almost sort of browny green in its dark bits, but then you've got these lovely pinks from red right through to a subtle pink. And the greens, jadey green in there. There's almost like a sort of darkish touching towards burgundy. Oh, I love it. And then I thought this, which is sort of quite similar colours but a lot lighter, might complement it rather well. So you've got the sort of really acidy yellows in there. You've got some of the reds and the pinks in there. Obviously it's a lot paler overall. I thought that just, they might work quite well together. I've gone for a bit of a 2 theme here. I don't know why, because I've got so many singles. I thought at least if it's 2 it gives me more shawl options, because you know I need more of those as well. But yeah, I just thought those worked well together. So these are both on their sock light base, which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, fingering weight, and this one is Troublemaker, and this one is Gold Digger. Yes, very nice. Then we went to see Faye on the Knit It, Hook It, Craft It. Hook It, Knit It, Craft It. I'll put it down here. I can't quite remember what order it is. Yeah, so I haven't actually... Where are you? You're not going to start making noise again, are you? Betty! Shh! Yeah, I know she started exhibiting, but I hadn't actually got the chance to see her anywhere yet, or see her stand, so I was looking forward to that as well. So I got one of these gorgeous, gorgeous little project bags. Isn't that, look at that embroidery, isn't it gorgeous? So this embroidery is done in Cheshire, and I can't remember where she said this lovely linen was from, but it's like a really sort of nice, sturdy, sort of, you know, it's thicker than kind of regular linen. It feels sort of like a really good quality. But I really love the quality, the colour of it, sorry. And just that, the quality of everything that Faye does is just so high. She took so much care over everything she sources, so that she knows exactly where it's come from, and that the quality is exactly what she wants it to be, and everything is just so well done to such a high standard. I mean, the same for her patterns. I haven't actually made one yet, but I know from the way she talks about them, the work she puts in them, and how she thinks them through, you know you're going to get something that's a really good standard, and that is to be applauded in my opinion. So yeah, so she's got her lovely label there as well, and it's got this beautiful ribbon. So I just think it would be really nice for a little sock project bag, or anything really. Could put my other bits and bobs in it to put in another project bag. But I just think it's so pretty. So yeah, and Faye very nicely let us have this at a bit of a discount as well. So thank you so much for that, Faye. That's so kind of you. Because I know it must be so hard to pour that work into it, and you've got to sort of try and make it worth your time. So to sort of be kind like that and give us a discount as well, that's a really big thing. So thank you so much for that. So yeah, so that's really beautiful. Very happy with that. And last but not least, I went to West Green Lofts. So I thought, well, obviously I love her stand, so I'll go and have a look. But you know, I've got things from her before. I probably don't need to get much there, but you know, yeah. So then what happened was I was speaking to Vicky, and somehow she convinced me to buy Mohair. So my position on this, I know it's been massively popular. I think the thing that really made me want to try it was when Danny from Little Bobbins made her gorgeous cowl last year, the Land of Sweets cowl by Helen Stewart. And so I think she made a version, and then she made it again with Mohair held in, and it just looks so gorgeous. But I thought, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to, because Mohair and itchiness, it's just not going to work. So I've been going around, seeing it on all these stands, seeing it ever since, and just pretty much ignoring it, thinking, no, it won't be for me, it won't be for me. Anyway, Vicky mentioned it, and I said, no, you know, itchy, it won't be for me. She said, just honestly, just try this stuff. She said, because that's exactly what I thought. I thought it was going to be like that old itchy stuff you used to get. She said, but this is like, you know, a whole different thing. So I was like, right, fine. So she had a shawl sample. So I tried it, and it was true. It was amazing. I can have it, look, I can have it right up here. And it's just a soft, not remotely itchy. And the little shawl, the shawl she passed me, it was a knitted one. She did tell me the name, but I can't remember. But it was ever so lightweight. It was quite open. It was, I think it was like there was quite a lot of garter to it, but it was quite on the big needle, so it was quite open. But it was so warm. It was incredibly warm, incredibly quickly. So yeah, I was just, wow. I was a little bit blown away, so of course I had to get some. So I've got this, so I guess I'll probably hold it with this, but that's a bit samey colour. So I you know, I might hold it together to make a kind of fluffier version of this, so that would be really nice. And I think it's going to be round the neck, but just because the warmth of it, you just put it on, you're like, oh, that's so cosy. So it's going to be such a lovely cosy thing to wear. So I think it's got to be round here. I'm not quite sure it will be yet. So yeah, but those, and then these, which could come into it as well, maybe. I wonder how that would. Yeah, these are 50 grams. So I got two because I wanted 100 grams really, but she's done quite a good thing where she sells her normal 100 gram skeins, but she sells 50, because then you can then like have a 50 and pick up a mini, and you can make like a whole pair of socks out of that if you've got a mini to do the cuffs and toes. So she sells sort of 50 ones as well, which is a really nice idea. But as it happens, I wanted 100 of this, and they didn't have a 100 gram skein left, so I just got 2 50s. So let me tell you what these are. So this one is 100% Superwash Merino in the colourway Victoriana, which I just think is delightful. predictably pink again, but see how it's got these sort of colours. There's a new trend here, that sort of acidy colour. See how there's a little touch of it in there with kind of like a plum this time, but it is that kind of electric-y, bright, acidy, yellowy green. It seems to be hitting the spot at the moment as well, but just it's so subtle in there with just those little bits of plum. Oh, how could I resist that? This one is Briar Rose. This one's a 75-25% Superwash Merino Nylon blend. And then this one is 72% Kid Mohair, 28% Silk, and the colourway is Mr. Bingley. So this is, oh goodness me, our chainsawing friend is back. He sounds louder. I'm just going to push on because I'm almost finished. Yes, so there's 100 grams here and there's 420 meters. That's 100 at 425, so they will double up nicely. And then these, when they're together, so it's 50 grams at 200 meters, or 100 grams at 400 meters. So all sort of fingering weight. I don't know with mohair if that counts as fingering weight, but this sort of the yardage to weight is about the same, so I guess you treat it as kind of the same. I don't know. Right, I'm going to wrap up quickly and finish here because of noisy people, and I don't want them to disturb you, so I shall go. And if you want to stay tuned for the little bit of vlogging stuff that I'm putting on the end, then you can. That would be lovely. But if not, I will see you next time. Thanks ever so much for watching, and make sure you find yourself some lovely crafty time to enjoy before I see you again, and I shall do the same.